prepared that I thought I'd ask you.
Of
So
course. Yeah, let's go.
awesome. Let's jump in. So the first question is, the last World Cup in the United States was 32 years ago, back in 1994, and you've been working in professional soccer for almost the entire time. So what are your feelings about it coming back this summer to the United States?
Yeah, well, first of all, it's hard to believe that it's been 32 years. In many ways, that probably dates me. But at the same time, it's been a crazy ride. Obviously, I never thought I'd still be kind of working in the sport way back then. Thinking back to 1994, I didn't know much about soccer at all. I happened to be living in Washington, D.C. at the time, and I was working for Budget Rent-A-Car, and we became the official 1994 World Cup sponsor, and I had all these tickets, and I was working in the embassy industry, and happened to be a really popular guy during that time because all my clients who were from all countries around the world wanted to go to the World Cup. And I think the thing that I remember the most was kind of walking into that stadium the first time, hearing the chants, seeing the flags.
And was it in?
RFK Stadium, yeah,
Mm.
Washington, D.C. I know you like international travel, so the international community came to us, came to America, and I just remember the passion and the excitement and the energy in the building and the stadium, and it was something that I never ever experienced before as like a traditional American sports fan. And for sure, back then, the sport was super foreign to Americans. Most people were like, soccer's terrible. Soccer's boring. Nobody cares about soccer. There's no scoring in soccer. And so it was very much an international experience. I think the Americans that did go and got to see it were people that probably played or had kids that were playing. Kind of the youth movement just started back then. So it wasn't like youth soccer was really prevalent in American soccer then. So yeah, just a different time. And I remember just the passion, the energy and excitement. I was like, man, this could be a really, really, really exciting, awesome sport. And then in the wake of that, Major League Soccer launched technically 1996, but it was 1995 when the front offices started getting together and I had a chance to work for DC United. I think I was the 5th employee there before anybody even knew what DC United even was. And yeah, it's just remarkable that a lot of things we used to talk about back then, and I guess you could even call a dream about, has really manifested. And it's amazing to see what's happened since then.
Yeah, I mean, it's really cool that you were there. Like, you were a pioneer practically for soccer in the United States. So
That's true. That's true.
that
Yeah,
is
there's
really
not
cool.
many. I mean, there's a lot of people that were involved and a lot of people that put a lot of work and effort and time and all true pioneers for sure. But there's not a lot that have, I guess, stayed in it like this long. And yeah, it was a very pioneering spirit. That's probably a great word. I mean, it was a pioneering experience, and we felt like we were the underdogs. Trying to make something, I guess, more or less turn people attention to it. Not so much convince them we knew it was good and exciting and people would love it. It's just there was a ignorance around it. People didn't know. So I guess it was more about that. But yeah, pioneering is a great word.
Yeah.
Good job, Sophie.
Okay.
I like our little
Um,
ghetto chalkboard back there.
well, at least you got the soccer jersey in the background,
That
so
is
it shows
true.
you're legit.
That is true.
Question number 2. So, did you ever think all the way back, and then like fast forward to now, that you would still be working in soccer in 2026?
I mean, the answer is no, 100% no. I think back then we all thought it was fun and exciting to be a part of it. One of the coolest things that happened was DC United acquired United Park, which was the former training facility for the Washington Redskins. And actually, it's kind of a fun fact. The Washington Redskins won a Super Bowl with Joe Gibbs as the coach in that building. They left to go to a new facility. We, DC United, moved in. And our first year playing in Major League Soccer with Bruce Arena as our head coach, we won the championship too. And Bruce's office was Joe Gibbs' office. So I remember it was always kind of cool when we would walk back into his office thinking about all the history that was in that building. And so it's kind of a championship experience. And for us back then, it was more like fun play than work because we used to hang out with the players and we were all friends and we used to do kick arounds on the field after work. And so it was more fun. But then as soccer started growing, more investment came in. Major League Soccer started to expand. There was new stadiums and new opportunities presented. Then it got more about trying to climb the executive ladder. At one point, I got so focused because I just wanted to be a team president really bad. I was like number 2 in an MLS club, and I was an interim president, I guess, for about a year. And then I had a chance to actually do that with the Washington Freedom, the Women's Pro Soccer League. But Yeah, at the time, it was more I never thought I'd be still in it. I thought it was kind of a fun job out of school for a while until I really grew up and got a real job, and, I guess it turned into a real job, and then, it just turned into all these crazy opportunities.
And I think too, it's so important to do something that you love to do and that you're passionate about rather than just working at a job that you really don't care much about. So I think that's really cool that you've always been passionate in soccer since you were growing up and you decided to continue to stay with it because not only do you like it for what it is, but you also enjoy working in it as well. So
That's true. I
it's
mean,
pretty cool.
that's advice I give to a lot of young people is, they say if you're passionate about something, you believe in something, it doesn't really become work, you know? It's more of a you just I mean, it is work. It's always hard work, and you have to work hard, and it's not like you're on a picnic or vacation the whole time, but at least you're selling or representing something that you believe in and that you're passionate about, and that helps a lot, and, it makes the hours go by really fast, you know? It's like you wake up, you know, you're like, "Oh, it's 7 p.m. already, and we still got tons of work to do." There were times where literally we'd leave DC United at 11 o'clock at night. I remember my buddy Harloff actually pulled an all-nighter one time because we had a huge game, and he was just trying to get ticket orders done, and, like, he was behind, and he literally spent the whole night in the office, and, but if you don't love it, you don't those are things you just don't do, you know? But, we
Yeah.
were all in on that for sure.
That's awesome. So next question, question three. I've heard you're working on a book about your experiences in front office of pro soccer of all levels. What is the inspiration for this and why are you doing it now?
The inspiration is because, I think there's a story to be told. I think people working in sports business and soccer business probably have a good interest in the sense that so much has happened and has grown so much, but even now we're not even truly at the everybody says that we're still not even at the true tipping point. Obviously, with the World Cup coming, there's gonna be a lot of attention around it. And a lot of books that are written are from the player's perspective, from a coach's perspective, from even owners, you know, high profile owners like a Ted Leonsis or a Mark Cuban, or there's books written about Jerry Jones, but there's very few, if any, written just from people in the trenches, I guess, for lack of a better term, people that just lived it, breathed it, carried it on their backs every day, working all those long hours behind the scenes. We're the ones that do all the nitty gritty stuff that never really gets doesn't make it on the Sports Center, right? Doesn't make it into the best selling list sometimes of things. So I just think it's a great story. It's a story that should be told. Um, there's going to be stories that are left untold because it's more of a business book, but we had a lot of fun along the way and just so many cool experiences with MLS Cups and going to All-Star games and World Cup experiences going overseas. I mean, we were there in 1998 when the U.S. team played in France, and unfortunately, they didn't win any games, and they finished dead last. But we had an amazing experience the whole time. So I think it's because it's just a story to be told. Hopefully, it resonates with some maybe young people trying to get into soccer. Maybe I think there's a lot of people in this sport now. I mean, the truth is, there's so many things that are going so much easier, and it's all the things we were working on way back then are kind of starting to happen now, whether it's investors coming in, whether it's people, just all of a sudden magically, 12, 15, 20,000 people are showing up at games. I'm not saying that those people aren't working just as hard in many ways as maybe it's different, but that all just didn't happen by accident. It just didn't happen. It happened from just a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication, a lot of passion, a lot of hours. So I don't know, it's a story that I feel like needs to be told from a different perspective than I guess that's normally out there. So that's really the motivation behind it.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I know that with your other book, you've had a lot of success too, especially in schools. And I know in South Carolina, they've been using it at HRSM. So
Oh
it's
yeah,
kind of a
it's called
cool,
the break into sports through ticket sales. I call it the oldie but goodie. Yeah, I wrote that same thing. It was a story that needed to be told about how to get into sports and an opportunity that most people overlooked. I mean, great case in point. We posted for a summer internship with Flower City Union and my agency. We had a social digital media position. 150 applicants came in, and we also have a sports sales one, and we got eight applicants. So and the need area, even though social digital media is really super important and we need it, but we need sales more, candidly. So anyway, that's why that book came out because it was another story that needed to be told that, hey, everybody trying to get into the industry is looking in the wrong places or they want to be the GM or the president right away. The truth is you probably got to start from the bottom and you got to start entry level and you got to get in and get experience. And in many ways, ticket sales was the way to do that. So that's why I wrote that book. And even though I don't even know how many years old now. It's still so relatable today and it's still very relevant. So it's been a great experience, and that's opened a lot of doors and new relationships I never thought I would have because I wrote that book. I had some criticism when I wrote the book from people in the industry saying, Mark, nobody's going to care about this, or what are you doing? Like, why are you writing a book when you're already working in the industry? It doesn't make any sense. And anyway, it ended up being a great outcome. I think it helped a lot of young people. And the fact that some people are still using it today is pretty awesome. So that's exciting.
Awesome. Okay, so question 4. What has changed since then related to pro soccer? And then what does the World Cup bring to the future of soccer in the United States?
Well, I mean, it's amazing, really. A lot, so much has changed. And back when we were doing what we were doing, early days of Major League Soccer, and nobody really knew who we were. Um, one of the biggest issues was we were renting and leasing big stadiums that were basically NFL stadiums that were usually run by the city or a municipality. We didn't control the stadiums. We didn't have our own, we couldn't create the soccer atmosphere. So when you fast forward to now, we were only dreaming about it, candidly, Sophie. We were like, man, imagine when all these kids grow up and they have their own money and they have their own kids and they grew up playing soccer instead of baseball. And you have these soccer specific stadiums and you have big investors like Lamar Hunt, or Robert Kraft that is in the NFL and they become soccer owners. And all that has happened. I mean, all the big cities in America have their own soccer specific stadiums now. The atmosphere, the passion is there. And now it's starting to trickle into the lower tier. It's starting to trickle. I mean, you could drive in any little town in America and you're going to find a baseball stadium somewhere, right? Like when you go on road trips and you end up in, I don't know, Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, there's a little baseball stadium there for for minor league baseball. That doesn't happen in lower level soccer. So that's the next wave is all the tiers underneath Major League Soccer and Division One. And with USL going into Division One and trying to create the promotion relegation system, that's going to happen. Multifamily offices, multi-team ownership, private equity, all these things are happening. So that's going to be like the next generation, the next wave, and it's really going to implant soccer even more in the American landscape. But yeah, it's everything that we were thinking about or dreaming about or saying could be possible. The truth is, we kind of believed it, but a lot of us had, like myself included, like we doubted too. Like, oh man, is this really going to happen? Like, are there really going to be soccer stadiums that 30, 40, 50,000 people are coming to on a regular basis. And sure enough, it's happened and it's going to keep happening, which is really exciting. So yeah, that the idea that it still hasn't been at a quote unquote tipping point still is pretty remarkable. So that's what's happened. So, um,
Awesome.
yeah, well, I appreciate, I hope this is good content for your world marketing project.
For sure.
Apologies for the little rigged up setup down here, but hey, we decided to take advantage of you being in town. And I know you're working on this project, so good luck. And no, it's exciting. This summer is going to be exciting, 2026. It's coming faster than people think. And when it hits, it's going to be like a wave and people are going to be so excited about it. And hope the American team can do well.
I hope so too.
Well, thanks for doing
Thank
this.
you for doing this with me too. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.